Once upon a time, in a deep and dark forest, lived a cunning wolf. He was vicious, he was wild, and he was feared by all of the animals that lived there, except for a little lamb who didn't know any better. One day, while the wolf was out hunting, he came across a river. He wanted to drink from it, but sadly it was full of stones and sticks and other debris, so he couldn't get to the water. And as he looked around, he saw something that made his eyes light up. He saw the little lamb standing on the other side of the river, happily chewing on some grass. Now, the wolf had been hungry for days and thought to himself, "Man, this would be a great snack." But the river was too full of sticks and stones, so he started looking around to see if there was anything that he could use to get to the other side. And he found a large log. So he pushed that into the river, tied one end to a tree with some vines, and made a makeshift rope cart. Then he attached the other end of the vine to his mouth and dragged himself across the river like a dog pulling a sled. On the other side, the lamb noticed the wolf coming and asked him, "Hey, what are you doing?" And the wolf replied, "Oh, nothing much, just taking a nice stroll in the woods. How about yourself?" To which the lamb said, "Well, I'm just enjoying the lovely weather while I graze on these delicious grasses." And they talked like this for a while until the wolf finally spoke up again, and he said, "Say, how deep is this water over here? Because I'd love to come over and take a nice, refreshing dip." And the lamb looked at the water and replied, "It's quite shallow. I've already waded in it several times today, and I haven't even touched bottom." So the wolf got an idea and he asked, "Well, then tell me, would you mind terribly if I came over and took a little drink of that water right over there?" To which the lamb replied, "Oh, no, not at all. Go ahead." And the wolf did just that. He walked over, dipped his tongue into the water, and immediately began lapping it up. Then, all of a sudden, the wolf opened his mouth wide, trying to catch as much water as possible. And when he did, the lamb saw something. He saw the wolf's sharp and nasty teeth, and suddenly it dawned on him, "Wait a second, this is a wolf and wolves eat lambs. This guy is literally trying to kill me." And the lamb cried out, "Hey, you promised you wouldn't hurt me." And the wolf replied, "What? I never promised you anything. I'm just a wolf trying to quench my thirst." And then he added, "Look, it's all a misunderstanding. Let me explain." But the lamb wasn't having it. He cried out, "Help, somebody, please." And as soon as he did, all the other animals in the forest came running. And when they heard the story, they were furious with the wolf. A group of angry bears started chasing him. A flock of birds began pecking at his back, and even a few fish jumped out of the nearby lake, trying to bite him. And as the wolf ran away, scared for his life, he tripped over a tree root and fell onto the ground. That's when the angry mob caught up to him and they all started beating him up, each animal trying to land the most damaging blow. And the wolf thought to himself, "Oh man, I'm gonna die." But just then, one of the trees nearby began to shake. It had thick, luscious leaves, but those leaves started falling off and the bark began to peel away as well. And the animals all stopped and stared in amazement as a voice boomed from above and said, "Who dares harm my son?" And they all looked up to see a majestic lion, his fur as white as snow, staring down at them with powerful, piercing eyes. The lamb immediately replied, "Oh, mighty father, this wolf tried to kill me after I had trusted him." But the wolf interrupted and said, "No, your highness, that's not what happened at all. You see, this little lamb was being very mean and disrespectful to me. He called me names and threw stones at me, and I told him that if he didn't apologize, I was going to eat him. And he said, 'Go ahead.' So I went to go take a drink of water, and then he started screaming bloody murder and tried to frame me for something that I did undo. That's why these animals attacked me." The lion turned his gaze to the lamb and asked him, "Is any of this true?" And the lamb felt guilty because even though the wolf had tricked him, he had also provoked him by calling him names and throwing pebbles at him. So he lowered his head in shame and said, "Well, I'm sorry, father. I did call him names and I did throw pebbles at him, but he's still lying. He definitely did threaten to eat me." The lion then fixed his stare back onto the wolf and asked him, "So let me get it straight. You threatened to eat this lamb, and then when he retaliated, you decided to make a false claim and say that he attacked you first." The wolf realized that he had made a terrible mistake and tried to defend himself, but the lion cut him off and roared, "I don't want to hear another word from you. Leave this forest right now and don't ever come back, or I'll have you put in jail." And the wolf didn't argue. He knew that he had lost the favor of the animals and the forest, and he didn't want to risk angering the lion further. So he turned and slowly left the forest. After he was gone, the lion approached the lamb and said, "You should remember that next time you see a wolf, your life may depend on it. Don't make fun of someone only because you think that you're safe. Always remain respectful." And the lamb replied, "Yes, father, I understand. I won't make fun of anyone ever again." The moral of the story is the wicked will always find an excuse. No matter how bad their behavior is, they'll always be able to lie and convince others that they were justified in their actions.